Hey guys, welcome back to another Virgo Girl recommendation. And today's recommendation is highest to lowest with none other than Denzel Washington. I'm just going to start off this recommendation by saying, amazing movie. I thought it was really good. A lot of what happened in the movie was great to me towards the beginning. And then as the movie kind of got towards the middle-ish, endish, things took a turn that I didn't expect at all, and I kind of wanted it to go a different way, but I'm not mad at it. Okay, I'm here today to recommend this movie, and I'm here today to also say that I don't think this movie is trending enough. I don't think that there's enough people talking about this movie, and I could be wrong, but I haven't seen enough to me for the type of movie that this is. I feel like it should be getting a lot more, attention. I feel like more people should be talking about it. I think we all need to be watching it. And yeah, it's definitely a great movie. I think it could have actually even been in theaters. This definitely was a movie that could have been in theaters, but I know things are different now. So, I'm not mad that they put it on Apple TV. I actually did not have Apple TV. I subscribed to Apple TV just to watch this film specifically. So let's get into it. All right. So it's a crime thriller. Um, Denzel Washington, guys, he's a national treasure. I think Denzel was such an amazing actor. And it's very important that we talk about people like Denzel because we have a whole generation of people that are growing up, are born and, they're young, they came after us, and they don't pay attention to things unless it's like on the internet or it's trending, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. For the most part, not all, but for the most part, that's how the younger generation kind of consumes things. So I think it's very important that we put things out there on, and talk about it and put it on the internet and make sure that it's on Twitter, make sure it's on Instagram, everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. So we reach the masses because I do think this is an important film. And I think Spike Lee he's an important director. And I think that um, Denzel is an important actor. And for him to bring this movie to us at this time of year, it was everything that I needed. Tomorrow is my birthday, so what a great birthday present. Okay, yes, Team Virgo, Virgo Girl Channel. Yes, I am a Virgo. So anyway, Denzel, he comes to this film with everything that I need. He gave us everything that we needed to have for his role, but he didn't overdo it. This is what I love. Now, Denzel, of course, is a phenomenal actor, and I feel like he could have really overshadowed every single person in this film. But even though he was clearly the star, it's almost like he gave everybody room to shine in their own right while still being, the brightest star, if you will. But he still gave, he didn't give so much that it just overpowered the movie. So we were only, thinking about him. It's like, of course, he was always on the forefront of the mind, but you got to see the other characters and you got to get to know the other characters and you got to, develop opinions about the characters. You got to see their acting skills. You got to see them, individually, outside of Denzel. So, and what I mean by that, even when they were in the room with Denzel, I feel that they still had their opportunity to have their little moment to shine, if you will. And I thought that was great. And I want to point out a few things. I'm going to get some flowers because I like this film. I first, especially for me, well, if you guys have watched my videos, you know that my attention span is not the longest, and it's very difficult for me to sit and watch something that is super long. Especially like it's over an hour and a half. It's like I kind of like may have to break it up because I have like a lot going on, and then just to have the time to give it the attention that it needs. Well, that wasn't the case with this film. I totally could have just watched the whole thing, but I started it way too late. So I started super late. I think I started at like 11:30. So by the time, and I had to be up super early. I needed to be up like about 7. So by the time I started watching it, I could have totally finished it, but I didn't want to. I needed to get some rest for the next day. So I did split it up into 2 parts, but I watched the majority of it the first day. I think I watched about an hour and a half of it the first day. So the movie itself is about, it says it's 2 hours and 13 minutes. I think some of that is with credits. But my, okay, so my initial take on the movie is I signed up for Apple TV just to watch the movie. And when I first turned it on, I was already hooked. It just everything like I am a person who loves a movie with a New York City backdrop. Like that right there, they had me. Like when you first, if you haven't seen the movie, when you first watch it, the way that scene, that initial scene captured my heart and just, I was all in. It was perfect. Great job. Spike Lee has really, really, really outdone himself, if you will. The reason why I say that is because every time I watch a Spike Lee movie, he has a certain style that he does. Like, I don't know, like if you see movies like Crooklyn, um, just his movies, of course, like Do the Right Thing. The other one with the girl, she's got to have it, Girl Six. If you ever watch his movies, you know that he has a certain type of directing style and is shot a certain way. But I loved that this movie was totally different. There was a point where he would show images where it reminded me of him. But everything else, it was so different. So shout out to Spike Lee for giving us a fresh approach to this film. I thought the directing was amazing, but I did love that he kind of veered away from his like his signature style. When you watch it, you'll know what I mean. If you have watched Spike Lee's movies, you already know he has like a just certain style. I don't know. School Days, like I've seen a lot of his films, but when you watch this one, it's to me it was directed totally different, and I love that. Moving on, I want to say that the actors in this film, I loved I loved their acting skills because it was true to the role that they were playing in a way that it just seemed realistic to me. It wasn't forced. It wasn't too much. It was just enough. The only person that I wanted just a little bit more from was the wife. Her name is Pam King. And, oh no, her name was Pam King in the movie, but her name in real life is, I don't know, Fanish Hadera. I know her from The Godfather. What was the name of that? Oh, I can't think of the name of it, but it was Bumpy Johnson. She played Bumpy Johnson's wife on the series with Forrest Whitaker. I can't think. I think it's Godfather or something. But anyway, she was so good on that series, and I just expected like a little bit more from her. Like I feel like she didn't. It was just different. I don't know if it was because she was playing, because of the role she was playing in this film or what. But I was kind of expecting a little bit more from her. But I love her. I think she's amazing. But her name is Ilfanish Hadera. I may be butchering her name, but yeah, that's her name. And she was the wife. We had Jeffrey Wright, who is an amazing actor, and I feel like he doesn't get enough credit. Jeffrey Wright is a really good actor. He played who did he play? He played Basquiat. Basquiat. I'm sorry, Basquiat. I think that was when my first time being introduced to him, and he played Basquiat, and I thought he did an amazing job in that film, and I don't know if he got any awards for that film, but he definitely should have because I thought that was a great film. And he's played in other, of course, he's played in tons of movies. But he's one of those guys. I think he doesn't get enough credit, and I think we should give him more credit. He needs, he deserves his flowers. But his name is Jeffrey Wright. In the movie, he plays Denzel's friend. And now that I think about it, I really wish they would have kind of developed that character a little bit more. I needed a little bit more background on on who he was, like more information on him, I guess. But they probably didn't have time to put all that in. But I just kind of want a little bit more info on him. But yeah, he did a good job in the movie, and I was expecting when it first came on, and all the things that transpired. And I'm not going to give spoilers on this because I want you guys to go watch it and enjoy it. But I really thought that Jeffrey Wright's character, he played Paul Christopher, but I thought that he was going to be totally different from what he ended up being. So yeah, that was a shocker. ASAP Rocky. Let's talk about ASAP Rocky. I thought ASAP Rocky did an amazing job. He was so like unexpectedly great in this film. Um, I shouldn't say unexpectedly great because ASAP has acted before and he did a good job. But I just want to give him his flowers. I thought you did ASAP. I'm sorry. I thought he did an amazing job. ASAP executed this role perfectly. I mean, he was playing like basically a rapper, which is what he is. But that's not the point. The point is that even the other parts that he had to play, I thought he did a really good job. Because a lot of times, you get these people in here who are singers, rappers, or whatever, and they get thrown in these movies because of their, popularity, and they don't do a very good job. So I thought that he did an amazing job. There was a little short cameo by Ice Spice, and I thought she did a good job. I thought that it seemed natural, it was seamless. They gave her a very short role, but she basically the role that she had, it was long enough. I'm sorry, it was short enough to where she didn't have to do too much, but she did enough to make her mark. So that was amazing. And man, having your acting debut with Denzel, that's pretty cool, right? I mean, to be able to do your first acting role and it's with Denzel, opposite of Denzel Washington. I believe that's her first role. I haven't seen her in anything else, but yeah, so that was great. And then we had Rick Fox was in the movie, and yeah, I've seen Rick Fox act before, but he did a good job in his role. He pretty much played a coach, a basketball coach. So I mean, it wasn't too far of a stretch for him to play something like that, but he still did a good job. And then we had, oh, you know what? I'm looking at the cast, and it's so funny because they were saying, I almost did not recognize Wendell Pierce. He kind of looks so different, but he's played in a lot of movies. He's also another guy who we see all the time, and he does a great job in all the films and all the series that he's in. But he's another one that I feel we don't give him enough credit. So shout out to Wendell Pierce, another great, a great actor who did an amazing role, amazing part in the movie. Amazing job. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my phone and I'm kind of like looking over the cast and I'm just thinking back to the movie and how I really enjoyed it. I think what really, really the thing that I love is that the backdrop was New York City, and then how the actors really fit so well into the New York City. New York City, I've said this before. There's just something about people from New York City. To me, they always seem cool. They just seem like I don't know what it is. It just seems like they all know how to dress. They're all just cool. They're all trendy. And I know that's like not the case with every single person. But when I think of, or when I see a New York person, I feel like they always dress well. They just have like this vibe about them. And yeah. So when I watched this movie, I just felt like everyone just fit the part so well, being a New Yorker. Another thing I love is that they kind of like incorporated uh, the whole, you know, modern way that music is being done, as opposed to the past. I think music today is different from any other generation that we've seen because of things like AI being introduced, all the auto tune, which auto tune's been around for a while, but now it's kind of a different level. And, just how the internet has such a big impact. You got TikTok. I liked kind of how they kind of threw that in because it is a huge, huge, huge thing now, like with music. Me personally, I'm a person that I still love old school music, but, and I love, like when I hear a Whitney Houston, someone that could sing like a Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, like the greats. When I hear people sing like that, I still love that kind of music. Michael Jackson, like I love old music. I still like can enjoy it. Even music that came out before I was born, I can really appreciate those artists so much. So for me, I don't. If you want me to put, if I'm gonna put something on that I'm really gonna listen to, it's probably gonna be more like classic old music. I like it a lot, but they were just kind of delving into how the divide is, and it's true. Like Denzel, of course, Denzel's a lot older, but they were just it just kind of showed how the older generation and the new generation, there has to be some type of way where the two can kind of meet and appreciate the music of today. It's almost kind of like that was kind of a message without forgetting the greats of yesterday at the same time. And also helping the younger generation to appreciate, the greats of yesterday and what it took for them to be who they were and how talented they were, the raw talent of the artists from, the past. So it kind of like I got a lot of that from, watching it as well. Also, oh, and guys, for some, this it never fails. I live in California, and I don't know why, but every September, October, it's so bizarre that in September that it will get warm. We've had such a great summer. Like it has been so cool. It's just been so perfect. I've been so happy with how cool it's been. It hasn't been too hot. And then as soon as September comes, it just gets warm, and I don't like the heat. So please excuse the fan. If you can hear my fan, I'm going to try my best to take out as much as of the fan sound as I can. But I do have my air conditioner and fan on because it is warm. So please excuse it if you hear that. But anyway, I just think that when it comes to this movie, I just say just go watch it. Subscribe to Apple TV, watch it, enjoy it, watch it with your family, watch it with your friends, have your glass of wine if you drink wine, and just sit back and enjoy it. This is a movie that I hope a lot of people watch because I definitely want us to take the time to appreciate a film like this. We don't get many films like this anymore, and it's something that I personally appreciate being brought to us this time of year. It's almost, it's getting towards the end of the year. This is the fourth quarter, right? Yeah, the fourth quarter. Yeah, it's the last quarter of the year. And yeah, I thought it was great. And in closing, I just want to say that when you watch a movie like this, I think you have to watch it 2 or 3 times. For me, I'm definitely going to watch it again because there are so many little things when it comes to Spike Lee, the way he directs. There's so many little things I know I missed. There's so many. Spike Lee, you can tell he's also into art. He's also into culture, different cultures. And you'll see this in the film. You can tell he's from New York and he's used to culture. He's used to art. He's used to, he's just a cultured man. You can just tell. And in his movies, you may, because his movies are good and because you may be caught up in the plot and you're caught up in trying to figure out what's going on in the movie, a lot of times you can miss everything else that's going on, all the little things that he has going on in the background. So I'm going to watch again just to catch all of that. And there was also like a lot of little sayings that were said that I think some things that kind of went over my head, some things I missed. There's just so much that I want to go back and capture and just be able to just truly, truly, truly get everything I can out of this film. But anyway, guys, I'm going to close the video. This ended up going a lot longer than I wanted it to, but it's okay. It's okay because I like this movie and I had a lot to say. You know, I had a lot to say about it. And without ruining it for you guys, because I do want you to go and enjoy it. Once again, it's on Apple TV and it's called Highest to Lowest. The I know for a fact that I've left out some people that were, you know, in the film. And it's not because they didn't do a great job. It's just that, you know, I just didn't have time to name every single person. But please understand that each character had a very important role in the film. Each character stood for something that brought everything together. So go watch it, dissect it, watch it again, dissect it more, and enjoy it. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Peace.